Hey everyone, welcome back to the Daily Gold Podcast. Trendsman here. I am speaking with Jeb Handwerger of Gold Stock Trades, and we are in October, or on Monday, October 24th in the afternoon, about 40 minutes before the close. And Jeb, interesting action in the precious metals complex. I mean, based on my research, I've researched very extensively and significantly the past 3 or 4 days, trying to figure out what we can expect if we're going to get a bottom, et cetera, et cetera. And my conclusion was that a month or two from now, I think it's going to be clear that we're going to have a significant bottom, but I wasn't sure if we're going to hold the recent lows or maybe trade to a new low and see some huge capitulation. Anyway, today, we have a solid day in both GDX and GDXJ. Looks like the miners have put in a little bit of a higher low, and so in the very short term, that looks like promising action. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, that October 4th reversal I thought was going to be a very powerful day in the general equity market and in the miners. And we're seeing that that looks like it's going to hold there, that October 4th low. And we saw the Thursday, we saw that sort of doji candlestick indicating that level right there at that 53, between 52 and 53, is a very strong area of support, the 2011 low. And it does not look like it wants to break through that. It's tested there several times this year and has had powerful rallies. And we've kind of been, I've told my readers, we've kind of been in this zigzag traders market where we've kind of bounced off these lows and we've zigged up to new highs and zagged back down to test lows. And it appears that that's continuing. And if we see this pattern continuing, we may see a very powerful year-end rally in the miners.
Yeah, and certainly it looks like that is happening and has begun today. I mean, GDXJ is up 5.65%. GDX is higher by about 3.7%. So, very strong day for the precious metals complex. Now, speaking of gold stocks and gold miners, why don't we talk about a company that you and I we've talked about before, and what I'm mentioning here is Argonaut Gold. They are a sponsor of the Daily Gold, so let me just get that full disclosure out of the way. And Jeb, really significant news for Argonaut Gold today. We have news of their updated resource estimate at their La Colorada project in Mexico. The measured and indicated resource, they were able to increase that from 600,000 ounces to a little more than 1 million ounces. Again, that's measured and indicated. So nearly a 500,000 ounce increase. And that takes Argonaut's total company measured and indicated resource to over 6 million ounces. And as we talked about before, this is a company that's producing about 75,000 ounces of gold annually. And they do have La Colorada and their other more flagship projects, San Antonio. These two properties in the next couple years can take them to potentially 200,000 ounces of production of gold annually. So this is a company that really has significant growth ahead of it. And to date, the last year or so, they've done an excellent job being able to increase the resource at all of their properties. And you look at the technicals on this stock, it had a big sell-off. It came down from the mid-sixes down to just below 5, but today it's up 12.5% on looks to be over nearly 1.5 million shares as we're speaking right here. So very significant gains on very significant volume, and the stock isn't that far from its all-time high. So it's really showing excellent relative strength. Anyway, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself here, but what are your thoughts on this La Colorada project and perhaps Argonaut Gold in general?
Yeah. Well, the La Colorado project is a past producer. It's been, Eldorado Gold. Then it came through the Pediment acquisition, and their goal this year was to drill and to convert a lot of those inferred resources to the measured and indicated category. And boy, today's announcement, we're seeing from the share price, the market is obviously reacting very positively to this. We see a 70% increase, gold resource increase in the M&I category. And we have 173% silver resource increase. So that's definitely going to be a very positive momentum for the stock as it makes a development decision. And this is what the company definitely with this acquisition of La Colorado saw a lot of upside with this. And now the street and the market's really being able to see what this management team is doing and taking this former producing mine and advancing it towards production. And the economics look very, very good. The cash cost when it was at peak production was about $240 an ounce. So it's very exciting, and I'm looking forward to hearing how they develop this towards production.
Right, and I think there is a chance. I mean, of course, we'll hear more from the company in the next couple of months, but I think there's a chance they can get that into production uh, by the end of 2012, and that would kind of give it some near-term production. I mean, in the past, looking at the company, you'd have to think, okay, well, they're not going to have this big production increase until 2013. But I think the company has decided that, well, I shouldn't say decided, but I mean, because they're talking about that now in their own inner circles, but it's very possible that they could get this property into production in the next 12 months. And I think that would be quite significant to have that near term production increase. Do you agree?
Yeah, well, it's one of the things that I, was so curious about this company was the share performance versus the sector. I mean, we know what we've seen with this sector. A lot of it's weeded out a lot of the good companies from the shaky companies, and obviously the share performance over the past few months during this weak market shows what it's providing shareholders, and that's that they're moving very rapidly on their different projects. The La Colorado project, the El Castillo, and the San Antonio, and they have a pipeline of projects that are very close to production and bringing good profits and earnings to shareholders right at the moment.
Okay, on that note, Jeb, anything else you want to add on Argonaut or on the miners in general?
Yeah, I think that we need to see if this pattern's continuing. The juniors, I mean the majors, the producers, and I think that's what we're witnessing with Argonaut are definitely companies that can get into production, that can get cash flow in this sort of market. Is critical rather than the pure explorers that have really been hit hard and are dependent on capital. So, mining investors should pay attention to these companies that can get cash flow, that can grow organically in 2012.
Okay, well, Jeb Handwerger of GoldStockTrades.com. Jeb, thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
And thank you, Jordan.